once it is recorded, you can add to the chat, and this would be lovely. And my name is Amnon Shefi, and I'm putting it in the chat, including my email. And I am the founder of the program and the general manager of the program, and I'm very happy to see you all here with us.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have my information there on the chat, and then I would like to introduce our team, which is composed of Ram. Ram, please wave your hand so everybody knows. Ram is the program coordinator. Ram Neman is graduating PhD student, and he will introduce himself later. And we have Adi Lak with us. Adi, can you turn on your camera, please? Adi is our project expert, and he joined us today, and he will join us throughout the program. And we have, of course, PDG Avner Fuchs, who is the chairman of the Water and Sanitation Program in Israel. Avner, please say hello to the team.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to see you.
Avner, תתרחק מהמצלמה.
It's a pleasure to see you.
עוד,
and,
תתרחק עוד.
I want to congratulate you and to say that we're together in a very important project to advance the children from school to be involved in the main problem that will be in the world in the future is the water. So all the success I wish you and to us also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Avner. Avner has been spearheading and managing the entire operation of the Water and Sanitation Program for many years, and we are very thankful for him. Without him, there would not be any program. We also have Shlomo Bonher, past president Shlomo Bonher from the Ramle Rotary Club, who established a connection with Poland. Shlomo, will you say a few words, please?
Good evening. Dobry wieczór. Nazywam się Shlomo Broncher. Byłem 2 razy prezydentem klubu i dzisiaj byłem też w ICC Izrael Polska, dlatego też się nauczyłem polskiego języka. Co można zrobić, to potrzeba, bo to tego. I jestem członek Łoszek i właściwie to wszystkiego. Powziąłem pod sobą ten projekt, że mógł przenieść to do Polski, tak jak Amnon Shefi powiedział. I myślę, że w tym projekcie to będą 2 dobre rzeczy, też dla Polski, dla młodzieży polskiej, żeby się uczyli, i to też dla nas, że myśmy to jako Rotarianie przynosimy nasze wiadomości do innych krajów. Dziękuję.
Thank you very much, Shlomo. We now have Marianne joining us. I think we have a lot of emails and telephone numbers. I'm not sure we have it from everybody, but please make sure that everybody puts the email and the telephone number and where you come from in the chat so we can communicate with you later. Okay. Marianne, are you with us? Are you connected?
Yes, I am in 2 places. One is from my car.
Okay. It is important that we have you in one place in good shape. Okay. Artur, did you have a chance to put your name in the chat?
Czepczyński.
I didn't.
Very, very easy.
Okay, so you can add it to the chat.
And I am guest because Jerzy Korczyński sent for me information about this meeting, and I am only observe and now I don't know why my situation is here.
Okay, very good, Arthur, very good. Welcome. So please tell us a little bit about you. Are you a teacher or are you a Rotarian?
And I am owners 6 companies and 1 foundation. And my program is for children and ABC economy. And we start now about ABC empathy. And the first program we developed about 5 years. And now we teach a lot of children in Poland. And the ABC economy is to small children between 5 to 10 years. And the chapter about the basic information about the money and the budget. Yes. And ABC Empathy is my main solution for children emotion because we develop a lot of this program. Yes.
Very good. Okay, good. Welcome. So you will see what we do with water, and we'll see what we can do onwards. Okay. Anna, you want to present yourself, please?
Yes. I'm a Rotarian. I'm the chairperson for Inter-Country Committee Poland-Israel, and that is why I'm here, because I want to be aware of every project between the 2 countries.
Very good.
So Shama is my partner.
Okay, welcome. We're glad that you are with us. ICC is always very important. Thank you very much for joining. Okay, and we have Kozinska with us. Kozinska, you have to turn on the microphone. The microphone is closed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Grażyna Kozinska. Okay, I'm a teacher of English in an independent school in Warsaw. I think my best recommendation is that I'm the wife of the present district governor, Janusz Koziński. I teach English, and I'm here with my friend Agata.
Okay, very good, very good. So you teach English to what age group?
I teach English high school.
High school,
High school, 16 to 19.
Very good age group.
These days they are learning as usual, or you have
We are doing online teaching.
Oh, so you see, you have online teaching. Very good. Okay, situation with Corona still dictates that you have the children stay at home, the high school children.
Exactly, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good, good. And how well does it go? Do the children listen or they shut off the screen? How does it work?
Okay, as you remember from our young age, when we went to school, we did everything to skip classes, right? It didn't change much. Only the media changed. Otherwise, kids are the same as they used to be. Okay.
Yeah, okay, well, biology didn't change, but the brain did change a little bit because the way we communicate. So they are more used to WhatsApp.
The way we communicate, yes. But they are happy because they can teach me a lot about computers. So they use the occasion to show me that they are smarter than I am.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And the sooner we admit it, the better off we are. We learn more and the children are more motivated. So yes, it's a nice trick. We learn from them. We do this, by the way, also on water and on technology, on everything. So it's a nice trick. We have to learn from them. We have to adapt to the situation where the children know as much as we do, or maybe even more. So we will talk about it later. Okay, so who else do we have? Marianne, you can surely present yourself and say good evening to everybody. We don't see you yet. Oh, we have Anna as well.
Yes.
Hi.
Oh.
Hi.
I am still calling to different people.
Yeah, Anna, go ahead, please present yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Anna Wieczorek. I live in Warsaw, and professionally, I'm a teacher of English. I deal with young kids, but I also teach seniors, and my oldest student is 94. And
Oh, all right.
so the age difference is more than 90 years between my youngest and my oldest. And basically, I'm very much interested in the topic. I also run my own small publishing house, and I publish books for children. I work with children. I work with teachers all over Poland, doing teacher training in methodology well, I'm here to hear more about the program, about the project, and I'm ready to
We
get
will show you all
involved.
about it. Excellent. Welcome. We are glad that you are here.
Thank
and
you.
I see that you added your email here on the chat. Did you put your mail in the chat?
Not yet.
Okay, go ahead. So
I
please,
will.
everybody, put
Okay.
your name and your email and your telephone number.
All
so
right.
that we can then communicate with you and send you material and so forth.
Thank you.
Very
Thank
good.
you. I'm just
Okay,
doing this.
So we
Thank
also
you.
have Christina now that joined us. Christina, please say hello to us.
Hello. I hope you can hear me. So my name is Christina, and I'm a retired teacher of English.
Christina, we can see you very well, but please speak slowly.
Okay. So I'm Krystyna. I'm a retired teacher of English from Gorzów Wielkopolski, a city in the west of the country. And I devote my time to Rotary at the moment.
Oh, okay, very good. So you are a Rotarian?
Yes, I'm Rotarian.
Very good, very good. Welcome on board.
Me too.
Rotarian
I'm also a
teachers are-
Rotarian.
Excellent. Rotarian
Actually,
teachers- Oh, Anna, are you a Rotarian too?
Yes, I am a
Oh,
Rotarian.
excellent, excellent.
Yes,
Rotarian
now at
teachers-
the moment, I'm moving from Warsaw Club to Canada, to Canadian Club Edmonton. So
Are you moving to Canada?
yeah, well, not physically, but as a member of Rotary, I am just about to become a member of Edmonton Rotary Club, Canada, Alberta.
But
Very
you will
nice,
continue
very
to
nice.
live in Poland, yeah?
But I'm still, I don't plan to move to Canada at the moment, no.
Okay, no, but this is very good because we will then offer you to invite a school from Alberta. So
That would be
very nice.
fantastic. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, so we can certainly talk
Yes.
about it. Okay, we have Agata with us that hasn't said anything yet, so please open up your mic and we are listening to you, Agata.
Hello, I have been invited to this meeting by Grażyna, and I am a teacher at the same school. I am also the guardian of the school council. So this is why I'm here, because I work with children, and we thought that I might be the person who might do something with them in the future, maybe.
Excellent. What age group do you teach in your school?
That's high school, so between 14 to 19.
Excellent. Very good. Very nice age group. Very suitable. Okay. Marianne, I think we covered everybody and it's your turn now.
My turn now. So everyone knows me very well. So I am an engineer who is just involved in many different subjects. And as you know, for over 30 years, I am just trying to make as many matching grants and now global grants as possible in my district and to help to everyone.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, Marianne has been, Professor Wojcinski was the spearhead of our activity in Poland with Shlomo Bonher, and thank you very much for organizing this meeting. And so now we have consumed about half of the time we have, but never mind, that's okay. We know everybody. And we have Ram with us, who is, as I said, a PhD graduate, and he specializes in the teaching of mathematics and cognition. And he will be the coordinator for the program. He is a coach in our program. and has a lot of background and has been spent the last couple of months with us. He is has replaced Michael Serbi, who was the coordinator before. Okay, so what do we have in the program today? I will try to give you a brief presentation of the overview of the program, and based on that, we will allow you to ask questions if you have any, and maybe show you a little demonstration of some of the things we do. So please tell me, can you see the presentation on the screen now?
Yes, yes, we do.
Very good. Okay, so I will go very quickly through it, and I will stop once in a while to let you ask questions. So we're starting. This is a twinning program based on Rotary Hands Across Water. Rotary Hands Across Water is a STEM education program based on water, and it has been very successful in Israel. And now, based on the request by Barry Racine, the PRI, who visited the program last year, and many others, presidents of Rotary International, they asked that we extend it over to the world. We work with Arabs and Jews in Israel, as you can see in the picture. So we were asked to extend it to the world. So this is what we're doing, offering you an opportunity to take part in the program. In one slide, we are talking about the principle of school twinning, where we will have collaboration of schools around the world with the purpose of promoting awareness of the water and sanitation challenge in the world, because the challenge is really very significant. But along with the challenge, to make you aware of the solutions, such as what we solve in Israel. Of course, the problems around the world are different, and the solutions will be different. But the point is that if you are aware of the problem, you can solve it. If you are not aware of it, you don't think it is a major problem, and you don't address it. The problem is very major. In 10 years' time, it will slow the world down. We don't have much time to respond. So this is why this is very critical. This is why the Rotary puts this at the center, at the focus, and this is why they asked us to make this program available to the world. So what is Rotary Hands Across Water in the basic program? What is it all about? Well, this very simple 6-bullet slide tells you all about the program. First of all, this is STEM education. STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So it's a multidisciplinary program, and it is based on water and sanitation. But we do not teach water per se, but we teach sciences, physics, chemistry, biology, and so forth, geography, the environment. So it is based on examples around water and sanitation, but it is general science. Now, this is very important. It is important because the program has tremendous curricular value everywhere in the world. When you study Newton's laws of physics, this is general. Everybody studies that in the high school, and we just give you examples from the world of water. So it is not an extracurricular program, but rather part of the curricula, whether you study mathematics or history, language. If you study English, everybody is teaching English, as we saw with the teachers here. So you have an opportunity to work in English. So it is not extracurricular, but rather in the curricula, and it is assisting the teachers. It is relevant to the curricula, therefore. It is very modern in the approach, using relevant research, PBL, reverse engineering, methodology that is very, very modern in terms of education, but we let the teachers practice it in the best way they know how. It is futuristic in the sense that we don't just teach the problem or what was done in the past, but we are looking forward to what can happen and what the children should study and prepare to safeguard their own future. So unless you take care of, say, treating wastewater, then you have a major problem. So we are teaching the students what to do with wastewater, how this relates to chemistry and biology, and we engage them in worrying about the future. So it is very futuristic in nature, and it is cross-cultural. We work with Arab, with Jews, with Christians, with all religion, with all communities around the world. We have people from India, from Romania, from the United States, from Canada, and so forth. So it is very international. The typical numbers of the program are really very impressive. We've been working since 2006. We've had more than 100 schools involved and 15,000 students in the program. And it has been recognized by the TRF, by the Rotary Fund, as the noteworthy program at the centennial year. So over 100 years of operation of the fund, they have picked our program to be the noteworthy program. So it was very impressive and we are very proud about it. And it has been very successful. It is not that we did not go through any challenges. We had a lot of challenges, but we corrected. We made a lot of mistakes, but we kept correcting it and promoting it and improving it. So this is why it is so successful. You are welcome to take pictures of the slides, but I will also send you the presentation if you put your email in the chat, so you can have the entire presentation with you, so you don't have to worry. This is a very nice movie about a clip about the entire program. Since we spent so much time, I will save the time for this, but I want to tell you that aside from the video, which is really very good, there is also a podcast here where the Israeli government talks about the program as the way of the future. The education is part of Israel's worry about water. And we know Israel does a lot of very impressive things relative to water, and they consider our program to be very important. Now, what do we as HiTeach provide? HiTeach is a private company. We founded the program, we started it. I myself come from the high-tech arena. My PhD is in electronics and in EE, and I did a lot of research work and studies on cognitive sciences and in medical imaging and so forth. And I established HiTeach in the year 2000 in order to develop futuristic education, and that's what we're doing. So we provide a training, and we will assist you along the way. We do a lot of project ideas, and we will show you some examples, very advanced STEM project. We have a lot of e-learning and remote support, not just now because of the corona. We have been doing it for many years. So the corona is just an opportunity for us. We do visits with the schools in the facilities, and what we've introduced now, because of the corona, since you cannot come to the facilities because of the virus and the children do not come to school, we have produced a set of virtual visits using 360-degree cameras where the students can use these kind of goggles, and they can look around. So it is very futuristic, and the students feel as if they come to a desalination facility or to a utility wastewater treatment or what have you. And so it is very fascinating for the students. It is very real. So they don't have their screens closed down and black, you know, as what happens. So a lot of virtual work. We also have outdoor visits and studies. And I can see that someone is, we have notes going on the screen, which I don't know where they come from. There's apparently the ability, this is
Hassan, it's Hassan. Hassan, you are accidentally touching your screen, and that's what doing this.
Yeah, sorry, accidental.
No, you can
okay, don't
disable
worry.
the
Okay,
notation.
let's see if we can erase this.
You can, and if you can't, you can just stop the sharing, the screen sharing, and then restart it again.
Okay.
Restart the screen sharing. Okay, let's do that. Stop sharing, and then we start sharing again. You see, without Ram, I'm pretty much in a loss. Okay, we're back. Thank you very much, Ram. Okay, I learned something. Okay, so we will support the teachers, and of course, we started the twinning, so we will help you out to twin with schools in Israel. The idea in the twinning is something we will cover in a minute of how we do the process and what is the cycle. Because the idea is that you can do some studies of water challenges in Poland, and we will engage you with one of the schools that does it in Israel. And the purpose is what we see on this slide. It is the awareness. What happens is that you need $40 trillion to invest in infrastructure to change the situation regarding water in the world. This is a phenomenal number. So this will never get invested unless we have public awareness around the world. And this will bring out governments and the World Bank and so forth. This is even much bigger than the Rotary. The Rotary can invest enough to increase the awareness, and that is what we're doing. So this is the purpose of the program. We are teaching, we provide value to the teachers because they study English or physics or mathematics and so forth. So they are not doing us a favor. It is very interesting, it is very relevant. It is in the curricula, so they study Newton's law or basic chemistry or biology and what have you. But we have an agenda that we want the children to be aware of the challenge and to be able to take it home to their parents and families and friends and other classes. And so before you know it, in a couple of years' time, all the city will be aware of the challenges. They will start to lean on the utilities and start to make sure that the government invests in water infrastructure and so forth. So this is our purpose, our overall goal. So current education, promote awareness, and present the solutions so that the children are not overloaded with the worry of what is going to be the future, but rather they know that there is a possible solution. And then we want them to collaborate globally with schools in Israel initially, but then of course with schools around the world as well. What is the process? It is a very straightforward process, which I will elaborate, but the key idea is that we want to train the teachers, provide them content in English, which they can translate to Poland or to Romanian or whatever, and then to coordinate the twinning. So the idea is the following. This is a loosely coupled cooperation, namely, you have a school in Israel, they work on their own way with our guidance, and then you can work in Lodz or in Warsaw on a water challenge that is relevant to the water system in Lodz, for instance. And then when you proceed and you have some idea and you do some STEM experimentation and you have a report of what can be done better or how much energy is consumed and what have you, you know, STEM activity, you can produce a product in English. It could be a video clip, a YouTube movie, it could be a report, it could be a presentation, a poster, doesn't matter, any form of product, educational product. And we team you up with a school in Israel where you first know teacher to teacher and communicate, and then you know what the other school is doing. And when you complete your report, you send it over in English to the school in Israel. The school in Israel will do the same, will study on their own subject. It may be the same subject or something else, but when they are done, they will also send you a report in English or a presentation or a video clip or maybe two things together, you know, whatever they find out. And once you get it across, you know, from one side to the other, you have an opportunity to look over the report that was produced in Israel and to, you know, voice your opinion. Was it similar to your conclusion, different? What did you learn from it, and so forth? And so you can provide feedback to the school in Israel, and the school in Israel will provide you feedback relative to what you did. We did it a couple of times, and it seems to work very nice. So when you do it, you then have connection between the schools, which is based on work that they did. Both are interested in STEM, in sciences, in culture, maybe in economy, as Arthur is telling us. The economy around water is very, very critical and important. And so you can exchange basic ideas and common concern for the future of water and humanity in general. So there is a common subject. And so now you can establish communication through WhatsApp, through Zoom, whatever, but there is a substance behind it, as opposed to just meeting in Zoom, waving your hands, which is nice, but it is not very substantial. So this is the idea. And of course, we want to identify the area of the studies that has a curricular value. So if we have a teacher of history, we will look at the history of water in Poland and maybe in Israel and so forth. It's a fascinating subject because water was always at the forefront of technology. Or if you have a teacher of physics, and we can study the pumping of water and the supply, or the chemistry of water quality, or the biology of wastewater treatment. So there are a lot of subjects in the curricula that you can relate to, computers, and of course, technology. So that is a major thing. We want to do it because we want the teachers to know it has value towards their agenda, especially in a year like this, when they spend a lot of time and they don't have too much time because of the coronavirus and so forth. So it is very important to find relevance to the program. We have produced a brand new program relative to the corona. So even the corona itself, viruses, bacteria, and the proliferation of the epidemics and so forth. And so you can even study that. We have a very nice chapter on it. So then you study the science and the challenges and the solutions, and you develop some experimentation, and I will show you an example. The idea is that you always do some experimentation. You can do it virtually on the internet with a lot of virtual laboratories, or in the computer, or in the laptop, or in the telephone. Very nice applications of physics experimentation, but also physical experimentation with Lego and components and pumps and I will show you in a minute a couple of examples. So you do some STEM research. You can also do the STEM research by means of just the internet, like what is the water situation, the water consumption, the water resources in Poland, and where is the future going? What are the major projects in Poland in terms of water? So even through the internet, you can do a very nice research. And then we do the connection with the twinning school in Israel, as we said, and then we share and discuss the products. And then if this is successful, we discuss it, we analyze it, and you have the opportunity to spread the word, to bring more schools and so forth. As the coronavirus situation improves, you will have an opportunity to do it. The next slide shows you a tremendous amount of curricular value. We are, of course, not going to go through every square like this, but the idea is that if you are looking at chemistry and depending on the age group, every subject in terms of water, from water resources management, liquid prevention, and seawater desalination or wastewater, every subject like seawater desalination, which we do in Israel tremendously, all of our drinking water comes from the sea. There's a lot of chemistry, and there also is a lot of physics, and there also is a lot of biology. So you go down the column and you can see that just looking at desalination, you can physics and chemistry and biology and technology and economy and environment and so forth. They all relate to desalination or to wastewater treatment or so. So you see the curricular value is very, very wide, and we help you in that respect. When you have a school that comes on board, of course, with English, it's easy, it's obvious what the value is. But when you talk to a chemistry teacher, you have to show them how this relates, because for them, they have the formulas and the elements to teach and so forth, and they don't understand that, you know, the wastewater treatment is all about nitrate and all about chemical and organic chemistry and so forth. So we have to show them the relevance, and this is what we do, and this slide is just an example. Of course, we provide you a lot of information about the general global crisis. You can see here how severe the situation is around the world, and obviously it is very, very devastating. More people in the world have cell phones than access to clean sanitation. And even in America, the situation of clean drinking water in the tap is very rare. So you see all of these gray, all of these brownish areas where you do not have completely safe water in the tap in the United States of America. So around the world, it's of course more devastating. So, you know, almost 1 billion people without safe water to drink, and 2.5 million people, 2.5 billion people without proper sanitation. I mean, the numbers are tremendous. You can see about a tremendous amount of challenges that need to be addressed. Why is this coming about? Because we are growing with the number of population, we increase our standard of living, and we waste a lot of water, both in leakages and in agriculture that is not using irrigation properly, but mostly in the products. You see, when you take 1 kilo of meat, of a steak, you're talking about 15 cubic meter, 15,000 liters of water that was wasted primarily in growing the food for the cow. So it is tremendous. And if we cut back on eating meat, of course, we will save a lot. And the same goes for chocolate or for, you know, everything else. So our standard of living went high. And of course, therefore, we waste a lot of water. And our standard of living in terms of sanitation, you know, is also very demanding. We in Israel were always historically on the verge of the desert. You can see this is Israel and this is all desert south of us. This is the Nile River. So around the Nile, there is water, but other than that, you know, there is desert. And so we have been with this strain of needing a need to find solution for ages, you know, so it became a part of our culture. Water is very rare and it's part of our culture. Together with the innovation and technology that we have in Israel, it is in our nature and in the culture, and we have a lot of technology and innovative people, we have managed to come up with very good solutions. So the situation in Israel now is okay. That isn't to say that we don't need to keep developing, but we did a few very smart things, which I will show you in a minute. And this is what we did in order to alleviate the problem. So it's not one element, it's a number of elements, and it's the combination that makes it work. So the first thing that we do is we reclaim the water that we use at home as wastewater, treat it again, clean it, and we can use it for irrigation, for agriculture. So we drink all of our drinking water, about 600 million cubic meter a year, come from 5 desalination facilities around the shore. We're building the 6th one now. And when it comes home, we use it, and then it goes down the drain to the wastewater, to the sewage. So we collect it and we treat it. So we have reclamation of wastewater. So these two elements are very critical. Reclamation, where we take the wastewater in this big reclamation facility, but we don't just treat it enough so that we can use it, you know, out in the river, but also take another step where it is really pure, where we can use it for agriculture. So with these two elements, right away, you have a tremendous amount of saving. All the water comes from the sea, and it is used twice. Then when we bring it to the irrigation to be used in the field, we don't just spray it or use flood irrigation, which is very ineffective and a lot of evaporation and so forth, but we use it very, very effectively with drip irrigation. So we drip the water directly to the roots of the produce, and so the use of this reclaimed water is very effective. So you see it's a cascade of solutions. And then in the cities, there is a lot of waste in leakages. Some of the cities are old, of course, you know, in Poland, you must know it, you know, cities are old, and when they're ancient, the water systems are not that good and they leak. The average leakage in the cities in the world runs around 30%. So it's a tremendous number. The leakage in Israel as a goal, as a national goal, was 6%, and we are much better now, and we're heading towards 2%. In practice, it's going to take some time, but we're making tremendous improvements, invest a lot in the infrastructure, monitor, identify when there is a leak, find out exactly where it is, and fix it. So there are a lot of technologies to support it. And so you see, we have 4 major technologies: the reclamation of wastewater, the desalination, the effective irrigation, and the prevention of leakages. But the important thing is that we don't just develop those technologies, but we actually apply them broadly around the country. So for that, we have a couple of things that are helping us. Number one, it's the law. The regulation in Israel and the law are very strict. The water in Israel belongs to the state. So you pay in order to use the water once, but it's not yours. So you cannot collect it and so forth. It's got to go back to the country. And this way we get it back and we can reclaim the wastewater and so forth. So we have a broad, very fundamental law which substantiates the entire process. And then we have a very large system of a national water utility, a body of regulation, a water authority that controls the entire regulatory process. And it is not government, it is where all the stakeholders are involved: the government, the private, the academia, the utilities, the public, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of the Treasury, and what have you, health. So everybody, all the stakeholders are participant equal, and this is a body of control. And they decide, for instance, what is the tariff. And all the money that is collected for water is invested to produce water and to support the infrastructure. So it's a closed cycle. And the cost and tariff is high, so that people are aware and they don't want to waste. So you see, it's an entire system: technology, proper management, regulation, and of course, as we speak, there is a lot of education. Education having to do with water, with the awareness, as we are speaking now. So making the public aware, including the young generation, is very effective and very important. I can tell you that when we started about 15 years ago, there was not that much awareness in the public of all those things that we do in Israel. Where today you speak to everybody, everybody knows that we are excelling and that we need to keep on developing some of the technologies because it's not trivial. And so we've seen a major change in the awareness of the public of the challenge and the solutions. The water STEM activity includes laboratories or virtual laboratories, and I will give you some examples, but there's an important textbook that you can buy on Amazon. It's not very costly, and it tells the entire story of what Israel did in terms of the water. It is called Let There Be Water. It was written by an American journalist. He came here and he interviewed everybody, maybe 100 people. He spoke to me, he spoke to others, and he wrote a very nice book that tells all the story, and it turned out to become a very nice, effective textbook. We work with the Arabs, as you see, and so we translate the content, and of course, Professor Marianne translated to Polish some of this presentation, for instance, and of course, you are welcome to translate the rest of the material, which we provided over the web through a Google Drive folder. So this is a very cross-cultural activity. We leverage ancient water history and we use it, as a STEM basis. One of the things we do is really basic saving. So there's a lot of technology on saving. And the nice thing about it is that you can experiment with it in the class, at home. And that is the nice thing. It's easy to do. So a lot of experimentation on that, which we can show you. And in fact, there is a presentation on that subject of leakage prevention at home. Another example, very thorough on the other end, the high end of things, has to do with seawater desalination. Now, the idea is that we keep the children aware and able to understand. So we don't just bring them to a facility and show them this is desalination, these are reverse osmosis membrane, and let's go home. We want them to understand. So you see the child here, the girl in the Technion, the Israeli MIT, the cutting edge technology in the Water Research Institute, and she is studying the effect of pressure on the functioning of membrane. And this is after she can see what a membrane looks like and how it is built and designed and constructed. And that is before she goes to this desalination facility where she can see thousands of membranes like this. And I will show you in a minute how it looks. But the idea is that we don't just show it to her as a complex, but rather we teach the basic of how this works on the inside making and let them experiment with it before they even come to visit or after. So you see, it is very thorough. This is not superficial, but rather something very, very thorough. Now, to demonstrate that, the next slide, it takes you on a virtual tour of a facility. So this is the desalination facility. It is on YouTube. We took this picture with very special photography equipment, 360 degrees, and the children, as you can see, can look around, and I will show you how this works. So we take a virtual tour, and we added into it some quizzes and so forth. So I will just go quick so we don't spend a lot of time. Do you see the video now? Is it on the screen? So you see,
אמנון לא רואים את הוידאו, רק שומעים את הסאונד.
רם, זה בסדר?
No, we can't hear we can't see the video, just the sound.
מה?
לא רואים את הוידאו, רק שומעים סאונד.
Aha.
I can see the
Okay.
graphic, but it's not a video,
Do you see it now?
just the graphic, but not the video.
No, okay, but you see the
I
picture
think-
now?
No, I think you have to stop the sharing and change to the YouTube video and then start sharing again.
Okay, so let's do that. Let us reshare now. And
Open
we will
start
share,
sharing.
we will share the video because it is a nice video that we want to see. Okay, all right.
Now we have it.
How's it now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, it's good.
Now it is okay?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you.
Okay, good. So let's go. Let's take a tour. We're going to Ashkelon. We're going to see a desalination facility. So we're going into the tour. This is an introduction. This is the management building, and I will shut the sound, and we're moving. Now you see that as we go in, I can move around. You see with my finger, and so you see we had a drone, and we go into the filter. And so in the filter, you can see the water, and the children feel like they are inside the machine. And so this is very unique photography. And now we go into the pump hole. So this is a huge filter here on the side, and these are the pumps, and so we keep on going in the tour. And now we go to see the water flowing after the filtration, and you know the children can look around like this. And so now this is a major facility. You see the sound? This
Yes.
is very powerful. These are extremely high energy pumps. And so 4% of all the energy in Israel goes into desalination through these pumps. And here are all these reverse osmosis membrane. So we explain to them where the water come out and so forth. You see? And the children can look around. And they can see the filtration and so forth. And now you can see how these membranes are being maintained and replaced. This is a membrane, and they saw before how it works, and they went to the Technion lab and tried it out, so they know what's inside it. And now we're moving to the most important part of the facility, the most interesting part, and that is a energy conservation. What happens here is that there is a tremendous amount of energy wasted in the process. And what we have here is an energy recovery cycle. And so this is how this works. And we explain how it works and build models with it and so forth. So the children have a lot of value to the visit if they have some preparation. And again, they can look around and feel like they had a real visit. And the nice thing about this is that this was designed for the children in Israel because of the corona. But of course, we can share this with you. And so you can come on board and do the tours as well. So this is why this is so attractive. I also want to take advantage here and show you another video of a facility, of an experiment that we did with Lego, which runs as an energy recovery process. So very sophisticated Lego equipment. It is not very expensive, but you can do very impressive experimentation. This is Dvir, our coach, and take a look at what we do here.
I would like to show you our Lego experiment. The first one we've built and actually started work and actually started adjusting to our kind of teaching is the wind turbine experiment. As you can see, it's composed of wind, a generator, a battery unit, a multimeter that can actually measure voltage, amperage, and wattage all at the same time, and can calculate the joule accumulated via different sources of energy production. Our source right now is actually the wind, but we don't have any gusts of wind right now, so I'll just turn it around. And I'm not sure you can see it right now, but there is a reading. Now, in order to share our experiment with the rest of the children and the students, we can actually, Amnon, can you make VLPC host so I can share the screen?
Okay, so you see here in a shared screen, there is a chart and you can see how the process goes, and you can then see the measurements. And we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but the nice thing about it is you can see the reading, and it comes from standard equipment by Lego, but we designed a very sophisticated laboratory with it, and so you see it's a very effective method. All right, we will stop this sharing now and go back to our presentation, and I think this will allow us to quickly wrap this up. And so we're going back to the presentation. So can you see the presentation now again?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So now we're moving onward, and you can see wastewater treated and turning into irrigation, and you can see drippers which we use and for testing, and the water supply system which has a lot of energy consumption and pumps, and we can try this with small experimental pumps and 12-volt pumps that you can try in the school. And so the children get a tremendous amount of understanding into energy and water and the relationship. This is a very good example of the futuristic nature of the program. So what we have here is the wastewater, a visit to a facility and so forth, and the bacteria and what have you, and how the bacteria grows and how it decays and so forth. So the entire process. But the important thing here is that this is not a very simple process, and it is innovative. We started it out, but you have to watch out because it could be very dangerous. So we are studying and researching it in the big facilities, but we also make the children aware of the fact that there could be ramifications, and there may need to be some rectification process in the future in the world. So what the girl is doing here is she is experimenting with soil in a bottle as to how to clean it if, God forbid, there is a problem because of use of wastewater. So what we're showing the children that this is an innovative solution. It's new, and we have to keep on studying, and they have to study sciences so that they are prepared to address it in the future if there's any problem. And this is a great motivator because they understand we are talking about their future. And of course, water pumping and supply with pressure and forces and power, and we experiment, and this is of course relevant in Poland as well. And we turn this into experimentation in the classroom. So you see, using these Lego standard components, which are really not very expensive, we build a whole facility like this, which, is really exciting because, the little battery, there's a motor, there's a little pump, a very interesting pump. And these are all components that come from all over the world. This comes from Japan, this comes from Germany and so forth. And then you measure the pressure, and there is a piston here, and, the system works. And so this is really very exciting, and it's very small and very simple to use. You see, just to take a feel, this is how big it is. You can see it in my hands. So it's a very, very, very simple and very easy to use. And I don't know if you can see it. Ram, do you see it? Is it clear? You know, it's very usable equipment. Here you can see very, you know, the size is not too big, and the ability to measure and to run experimentation, you know, in a little laboratory like this is really very significant. You need to know how to do it, or this is, you know, again, this test vehicle that goes on a slope, and there's energy recovery and all that. But the important thing is that there is record here of the voltage, the current, the energy, and so forth. So a lot of learning can be done with it. So you see, it's a very effective form of experimentation. We recommend that you harness the local utilities, like for instance, we have in Israel hydraulic valve makers. So we explain how the valve works and the force, and so a lot of physics here, but we also give them valves to try with. We have a lot of ancient facilities of water in Israel. So they just pump the water here. But we also do the analysis of the forces and the moment. So you get a lot of value, mathematics and physics, out of this experimentation. And of course, the idea is that you will do it in Poland with the systems in Poland. We are just giving you an example. What we did was we provided 4 presentations, a general presentation like the one I'm showing you now, but also a presentation on desalination, a presentation on wastewater prevention, on wastewater treatment, on leakage prevention, and in saving water at home. So you have those 4 presentations in English and about the entire water system in Israel. So you have those presentations in Google Drive form that we provided to you through Marianne, and you can translate them, of course, to Polish, and you use these as an example. We're not saying that you should teach, for instance, study wastewater treatment or desalination. You can pick subject relative to water from your environment at home, but you want to do it with relation to the curricula. So we use some experimental test equipment that makes it very sophisticated. It is very, very affordable, about $50 a device, and tens of devices like this. You could measure chemistry, biology, physics, and it all works with your cell phones. So it's very, very effective. Graduation. Hello? You have some noisy speakers on, and
Amnon, maybe you can mute everybody. Volkan is from your speaker.
Okay.
I think it would be a good idea if those people who do not speak could switch off their mics, so we wouldn't have background noise.
So that you can speak.
Amnon, you can actually mute everybody.
Okay, very good. Okay, so you see, graduation event is really very impressive with hundreds of people in the Technion, in the Water Research Institute. Last year we had to do it virtually, and in the presentation you have a connection to the virtual presentation. It's in Hebrew, but it's very nice, and the students present their work. So we will do a virtual presentation and virtual graduation this year on the International Water Day on the 22nd of March. So you still have time, you can still do some research work and present. And it's really very impressive. And the children present their project in Lego or some other models that they build, you know, a lot of science projects, and very professional posters and video clips and what have you, which we help you to prepare or guide you or provide you some guidance and criticism and so forth. So here's an example of comparing some water system and challenges in Miami to Israel, which we worked with a school in Miami. So this is very elaborate. And then the school came and visit. Of course, this was before the corona, and maybe hopefully we will be able to do it in the future. But the connection between the students, you know, after some connection, you know, they become friends right away, and it's hard to take them apart from each other, as you can understand. We take them to water exhibitions and professional conferences where we present to the youth challenges from the world by Rotarians that came to visit. And then they go and see the entire show, and later they brainstorm and come up with solutions that they present in English to Rotarians from all over the world. This is very, very impressive. In one day, they come, they are exposed to the challenges, for instance, leakages in the system in Ireland, because Ireland had a lot of development very quick based on old infrastructure, or sanitation in India and Romania, what have you. And then they go and see the conference, and they see some new technologies. They come up with new ideas, make posters in English, present them in English to the Rotarian and to the visitors. And this is really very impressive. And for them, it's profound. And you can see they're very excited at the end, and they remember it for years. This is last year. We had 70 such students, and all the industry was really very impressed. This is the event where we were granted the noteworthy recognition by the Rotary International. This is the group of people that support us from the United States. And you see a lot of Rotarians involved with the students. And this is what Barry Hassan, the PRI, said. What you're doing is education, you're doing water, you're doing peace building. So this is Rotary, he said. We must examine how to take these wonderful things you do here to the world. That's what he asked, and that's what we're doing. With your help, we will be able to bring it to Poland. This you see children present the work at the conference, and then to VPRI Babalula. VPRI Babalula visited their school in Gedera, where PDG Avner Fuchs with us here comes from. This is in fact close to his home. And he asked them, Mr. Babalula asked them, what's in this program for you children? The Rotary is excited, the teachers are excited, but you children, you know, what's in it for you? Why are you so excited with the program? And their answer was really very significant and really excited me very much. This student went out, he said to Babalula, we learned that we can understand things. So it is not as if we go to school, we are told it comes from one ear, goes to the other ear, and then we forget it tomorrow. We realized that we can really understand things. We understand the problem, we understand the solutions. Of course, we cannot design it completely tomorrow. Let's not mislead ourselves. They still need to do a lot of studies. But the basic principle is that they understand, and this gets them excited about worrying about the future. So they know they can understand and address the problem. And we have a lot of partners in Israel, and I'm sure that you will have a lot of partners in Poland, and we are actually relying on that because currently we have funding for the program in Israel and some minor funding from the world, and the Rotary in Poland was very gracious in joining in so that we can try the pilot, but we do not have enough funding to really develop it fully in Poland as we want. So if you will have connection with utilities and the government and the academia and facilities in Poland, then we will come and together with you, we can make this substantial, and make it, big in Poland, as Professor Wojcinski has in mind, to make it across the country and so forth, which is a wonderful idea. It just takes some funding and some effort to do. So again, to summarize this, the program outline relative to the twinning is the following. We approve the grant and we collect the funding. We're just completing this now. So this will be finished hopefully next week. We provide the content for the twinning, which we did already, and Marianne has the connection and the link to the folder in the Google Drive, which again, you can translate into English. This of course is detailed in this very elaborate document, but I outlined the key elements here and large. So we then start the training, which is what we are doing with you guys today. And hopefully we will have more teachers after you select the proper schools, find the schools, explain the program, and then try to locate utilities and government academia, because you want to do the work with a utility in large, with a water provider, with a wastewater treatment facility or what have you. So you look around for those facilities and make the connection. And then you identify the subject. Do you want to work on physics, on water pumping, or on the chemistry, on water quality, history of water, economy of water? You identify the subject, which you do, of course, with the teacher, such that it has curricular value, as we said, and you define the STEM. What is the combination of subject and what will be the research? Will there be an experiment? Will you build a model? Will you solve a problem? Do a research on the internet, or maybe limit yourself to a research on the internet simulators, because you cannot come to school here. And then you start the project itself. Once you have some preliminary results, we start the twinning and match you up with a school of relevant content, and then we start the exchange. You provide your report, you can consult with the cross-consult between the schools. We can, of course, help you in the process. And when you are done and you have the report, we do some cost review. You provide your opinion and feedback on the work that was done in Israel, and they will provide you the same relative to your report. So now we have the basis for the classes to make and to connect and get to know each other. And so now there's real friendship potentially and real subject to talk about. And they're working together on a major problem. So it's very encouraging. And so then we can prepare for the year-end graduation, how you will present it and so forth. And after we do the graduation, which we will record, it will be on the internet, we analyze together and do some feedback on the entire pilot, because this is a pilot. And we produce a final report for ourselves, that we will know what we did right, what we need to improve and so forth. And we are ready to spread the word and to promote to next year. So these are 12 steps of the program. Now we want to finish this off at the 22nd of May, so of March, pardon me. So we still have 4 months to go. That's enough. We still have this, the winter vacation, of course, in the middle, but I think it is enough time. We don't need to make the project very long. This is a pilot. So by all means, you can still make it if you choose the schools quickly. And since we are operating over the Zoom, it's simple and possibly very doable. So with that, I will conclude. We have 40 clubs that support us, around the world, 20 in Israel and overseas. And so this is, thank you very much for your attention. You are lovely. And I'm here to answer questions. By all means, please go ahead. Who has any question?
Marek.
Hello.
Mark.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
For a start, I'm sorry I came in very late, but Jurek Korczynski insisted that I join the group. But I had another meeting here in Warsaw, and I came in only about 8 o'clock. But I wanted to congratulate you on this initiative. It's a wonderful program. I was particularly impressed when I came in late by the virtual tour, the 360 tour of the membrane facility and the high-speed pumps. If you can show this frequently to as many children as you can, to as many students as you can, I think we often take fresh water, clean water for granted in the world, and particularly in Israel. It's really a precious commodity and is becoming more precious every day. And people are not aware of how much of a shortage problem we are facing in the next few years. And we just go into a hotel or into a home and we turn on a tap and the water is there. But it's not going to be like this for the next 10 years. In 10 years, we'll be in the crisis situation as they are already in California, for example. California, a very developed country, and yet they have a great water shortage. It is really becoming a crisis. And if you take people to such a facility virtually, I think you have a great chance to convince people and build awareness that water shortages are becoming probably the biggest danger after the pandemic that we'll be facing in the next 2 or 3 years. So I think it's a wonderful program, and congratulations on it. I'll do whatever I can to help. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was lovely. I'm very thankful. And will you please write your name and email and phone number in the chat so that we can communicate in the future and know everybody. And you had PDG Fuchs here with us, and I'm sure he enjoyed listening to your warm words, and that's very helpful to hear your feedback, and I hope you can stay on board with the program and help us promote it in Warsaw again.
Okay, I have a question.
Yes, by all means.
I think that that there is a great potential in the project. Why do you limit yourself to teenagers? Why not go further to younger children, who I think are the great material to teach? As soon as the sooner we start teaching them about importance of saving water, the better. Okay, sometimes it's late. You know, you cannot teach old dog new tricks.
Yes,
but
I
why not
understand.
start
It's a
with
very good question.
younger children?
It is a very good question. I will give you an answer. First of all, we do not limit. So if you want to do it, you know, and if there's an organization, you know, you can, by all means, you can use the content and do it. But the thing is this, remember, the motive, it's a you know, very elaborate combination here, and STEM is at the heart of it. So we are teaching sciences so that it has value for the school. So if the you know, higher school age group in the elementary school, like sixth grade, or you know, like, so that they can do a little experimentation, yeah, and this is relevant. We have about 6 or 7% of our schools in Israel that are at the high school level, as you say. But if they are younger, like fourth grade, third grade, and so forth, they can barely do a real experimentation. So it can be done. The teachers are welcome to take the content and do it, but we had to focus because you cannot spread the, when you go to graduation, when you prepare content, when you prepare tours, you know, you cannot take youngsters like this to a wastewater reclamation facility and so forth. So the program has a nature where it is the best at the middle school level. Now, we do have some graduating high school students, 18 years old, and we do have some sixth graders, which are, you know, 14, 13 years old, maybe 12 years old. But if you go below, the gap is very big. But as I said, we're not stopping it. If you have teachers that are interested, that want to take this inspiration and experiment with it, by all means, then they can take the responsibility and translate and adapt some of the content. We just have to focus in order to get, you know, quality and quantity, and not to spread. This is really, it takes a proficiency to work, as you said, in this wonderful age, because the children are very curious when they're young. So you can develop it when they're young, but it takes a different profession to do that. Our coaches, we have 15 coaches, and the content developer, they're very high level. They're PhDs, they have background in sciences, and our focus is how to bring the sciences into the classroom with relevance to water. Making basic science curiosity a motivation for children and awareness for water is a worthy cause, but it is not what we do best, I think. But we can change that, you know, and go along with you if you would want to adapt it.
Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead,
Yes.
Anna, please.
I was just going to ask almost the same question as Grażyna did, because I think, well, young children are wonderful students, and they, where do you start but kindergarten or very early primary school? Because this is the time when we learn our habits. Like, you know, not overusing tap water. You can, through stories, for example, you can spread a wonderful knowledge to young children. And I would also be interested in maybe collaborating, maybe working on a new curricula for very young learners. And they can also do experiments, believe me.
Okay, Anna, let me say the following. First of all, you are absolutely right. And we have an experience like this in Romania.
Okay.
They were running a program like this for a number of years with many, many schools around the country for elementary school. So with that, they took our program and combined it, and now they're going higher. Apparently, there is a similar situation in Albania, where we are working as well. We are starting to work now. So they have such an infrastructure. They have a program like this. So they consider their program to be first story, and our program will be second story.
Yeah, let's take the first steps. Yes.
Right.
think
So
the
if you
first step-
have something like this, we will be glad to cooperate and maybe, as you said, do some experimentation. But if you are doing, basic sanitary and using of soap and washing your hands and brushing your teeth and so forth, very important. And you can even do some experimentation with what happens with dirt and
Absolutely,
so forth.
yes.
But this is, a different world. So we will be very glad to collaborate. If you have some ideas, we will combine them. We can add them maybe in a different sector. So we are open for that, but we cannot tell you that we have experience in that we know what we're doing. Because you see in the other things where we were, excelling and we granted that status was because we made a lot of mistakes. We were working, for 15 years. And we made mistakes year after year, but we kept repairing, correcting, improving. So now we feel very comfortable. Middle school, we are very good. I don't want to say the best in the world, but I know we are very good. When you talk to younger generation, we can have ideas, but we do not have that experience. So if you want to initiate it, we will certainly help you, but this cannot rely on our experience because we don't have much experience.
Well, we learn through mistakes, so
that's right.
This is challenging, always challenging. Okay, I'll come up with some ideas later on. Thank you.
You're very
I think
welcome.
that also, on another perspective, in the younger ages, the children are actually learning. They are gathering the tools of how to learn. We are talking about kids in older ages where they already have the tools of how to learn.
Please mute your microphones, everybody. There's a noise and it's disturbing. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. So what I'm saying is that one of the core characteristics of this program is PBL, is project-based learning. And if the kids don't have the tools of how to research, and in the younger ages they still don't have it, then it misses some of the core characteristics.
Well, I think Ram, I think that Anna is right. I think that even very young children can make projects. It is all very feasible, but it needs to have special expertise, and we simply don't have that. And that's I think the idea to do it with the younger generation is very exciting. I think it is correct. It has to do with their habits of sanitation, and even their curiosity and attitude towards science. So it's a very valid proposition. The only thing is that we do not have that expertise. We will be glad to develop it with you if you want to take it this way. It has been done in Romania, has been done in Albania, and so it's a very valid idea. This is what the utilities like to do. And so it's very valid by all means, except we are not the experts on that.
Okay.
Okay. Avner?
Just a short question.
Yes, please.
Listen, is it all right to invite a school from Lithuania?
By all means, we would very much like to. If there is a Rotary Club there, it's even better. But even if not, if there's a school that and there are capable teachers and you think they will be interested, you talk to Marianne. Marianne spearheads the activity in Poland, and we have no problem with with Poland extending a hand to Lithuania and having another school on board. By all means, it's you have connection with Marianne, you have the background material, and together with Marianne, you can make the introduction there and let them speak to us and to the Haifa Rotary Club. And by all means, we will be glad to entertain the idea.
All right, thank you very much.
I want to say that we have excellent results from the activity of the children in the school by looking what are the things, new things they are developing, and new invention that we are very satisfied to see how they are very serious and they want to achieve a purpose that we want that they will achieve a lot of purpose for having the possibility to overcome this crisis with water, and will be this crisis more furious
Yeah.
So you can have the same thing and also in Poland, and I'm sure that you will be very satisfied.
Yeah, the children are very creative and you will be amazed with what they do. Marianne, do you want to have some summarizing words?
Yes, thank you very much for attending. I think that it was the third meeting, so more than 20 different clubs are just acquainted with this project, at least a little. And I would like to answer that there is no limit for activities, and each club can have their own, and they may focus, some clubs may focus on the children from even kindergarten, because it's a very, very important to start, and some clubs may be concentrated or with some actions with even universities. And I hope that this program, it might be developed also in Poland, but step by step. Now, because of a pandemic time, I know that it's very, very difficult. So I am just looking forward for the reaction from you directly to me. Everyone knows my email address, and let's be in contact. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think what we want, Shlomo Miyad, we want to decide on a follow-on meeting, maybe before Christmas still, maybe, you know, the middle of December. So to see if you were able to select some schools so that we can talk to the specific teachers. So you think maybe in 15th of December or 10th of December or thereabout, you know, before you send me an email one, or you can decide now and tell me when will be a good time before you go on vacation, because you probably are going on vacation soon.
The schools will start next year. Now there is an there are only online lectures. So the schools are starting in the middle of January. So I think that it's not an easy contact now with schools.
No, but the thing is this, relative to working on Zoom, it is easy because this makes the connection with us okay. But before that, we still need to talk to specific teachers and help them. So go through the guidance, pick a subject, see that they are interested. If we want them to start to work, say maybe in the middle of January, and to do maybe 1 month of work, middle of January to middle of February, and then start to prepare some twinning, then we need to talk to them now and prepare, see who are interested. We don't need a lot, you know, 2 schools are enough. And we can start with English, with the teachers that we have here. But my thought was that if we can identify schools and talk to their teachers and school matters before the vacation, then maybe after the vacation we can start. We will not start before, of course. We will start next year. And we do not depend on the fact that they will come to school. On the contrary, they can work from home. This is what we've been doing in Israel. So don't worry about that. But what we need to worry about is that the teachers are interested, that they find the curricular value, then they are motivated to do it. So you can try.
So it is for consideration for all clubs. And if you just might come to me with such a proposals. So if I get some proposals before the Christmas time, so we may just plan for the last week, 1 week before the Christmas time. So about the 17th or something, 20th.
Very good. Okay, we will try that. Very good. Marianne, thank you very much for organizing. Shlomo, you wanted to say something.
Yes, I want to say
In
my
Polish.
friend Marek Krawczyński, mi Rotary Warszawa, do dialo alcohol tu. Marek, słyszysz mnie?
Marek left the group. He had to move to another meeting.
No, he's still here.
No, he is full.
Marek, your microphone is off.
Oh, Marek is still here? Oh, okay, good.
I'm here. Yes, Shlomo.
Mark.
Dzięki Bogu, że jesteś. Bardzo mnie cieszy, że jesteś z nami i słyszałeś ten projekt. Bo ten projekt, ty możesz też rozmawiać o nim bardzo na każdym miejscu na świecie. Czy mam rację?
Światowy, właśnie, to bardzo ważne.
Tak.
Nawet
Nawet w Australii możesz rozmawiać o tym. I Australia też potrzebuje.
Bardzo, to jest bardzo ważny problem. We're just saying we can speak about this in Australia because they have a really big water problem. Even with desalination, they are trying this, but it's costing them a huge amount of money. So congratulations, very good material for talking to the world. So great start. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you very much for your comment. It was very nice to have you with us.
Bye-bye.
Real pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Good night.
Good night.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Good night.
Amnon, thank you, Amnon. Thank you for you also.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Abner.